Hello, my name is Miranda HP.
And I'm Connor Calloway.
And we are the Bountiful Bards.
Please join us in our first ever recorded D&D campaign,
The Fountains of Cathaidra.
And we are back. Hello again, everybody. Say hello, Miranda.
Hello, Miranda.
Greetings, everyone. If you are wondering why we are sounding a little bit different, we unfortunately lost one of our mics. It's not working anymore. And since we're on such a tight schedule, we had to make do with what we had. So it's going to sound a little bit like it did when we first started recording and uploading. But don't worry. I have other mics that are going to be en route. We also have a audio box USB as well. So once we have those come in, the quality of our podcast is going to increase exponentially. Right, dear?
Well, to be clear, you didn't lose the microphone. It's right there, but it just doesn't work.
It just doesn't work. It'll stand over there with its shame.
Glaring at you. How dare you break me?
It is a very cold day for us down here in the southeast. We actually had a little bit of snow flurries. Usually we don't see snow. So it was a very magical thing to witness as they danced about and did not stick to the ground and people continued to speed by. So we all know how that goes. Anyways, any announcements? I don't think so. Something, I have a book coming out. Onward. Do you remember what happened last time?
Yes, there was a worm.
What kind of worm was there?
Sandworm.
You know, maybe. You don't know. We'll see, though. Ready to get in?
Space!
Space!
I can see all futures!
No. Maybe. Who knows?
And there's Zendaya in it for some reason?
Well, that's not really a bad thing.
No, I'm not upset about it at all. I really want to ask her a bunch of questions.
Let's get started. So, there you were. Prime Regis Thiel and yourself at the top of this ruined observatory of some sort seemed to be dedicated to scanning and recording the events of the Bringers, which you people know as the Curtains, that are large pieces of rock that just seem to float in orbit above you from time to time. Occasionally they bounce into each other, but other than that, seem to be relatively harmless. While you're up there, you start to feel the gable that you're standing on vibrate. The ground is vibrating, and somewhere beyond the walls of this observatory, you hear someone yell, "Worm." What do you do?
Tremors. Anyway, well, we're up there, so can I see anything? Do I see any telltale, plumes of dust or, things?
Interesting. Give me a perception check.
11.
11?
Yes.
Thankfully, 11 is not that bad. As you look over and where the telescope is, there's a catwalk that leads out to the center platform where the telescope sits. Mm-hmm. That is, the ruined telescope. But on the other side, there's another catwalk that goes out to the other side and connects to a iron bridge that seems to wrap back around the inside. As you quickly trudge over there, from the perspective, you can actually see that, yes, this thing once did move, and there might be a chance you could move the panels out of the way of the dome-like ceiling so that you could see out of it. Thiel follows you over and goes, What are you doing? We've got to get down.
I'm trying to see if we can see. This looks like it moves.
What moves? I'm a dwarf. I'm short.
This panel. Shall I find you a box?
Do you try and open it?
Yeah. Strength check, I guess.
As you do so, you see that it's held a bit firm. So yes, I will definitely need a strength check.
Rolls up her sleeves. And rolls extremely well. Am I strong at all? I'm not. 18.
18?
Yes.
In 18, you go to try and budget, and dust begins to fall off, and more dust is even beginning to fall from, just the slight shaking of the building. Theo comes up and goes, "Oh, get out of the way, or let me step up here and try and help." And she goes and she grips her big fingers and starts to pull herself up. Seems to be a bit strong for a librarian. She grabs a hold of a handle that seems to be a rusted handle that sticks out from the dome.
This is
Positions
what I get
yourself.
for not reading the tutorial.
No. Hold on 1 second. I gotta get my d20s out.
Hold R to...
She gets up there. She sets herself. And... okay. So that is definitely going to work with a 23. You just see... Even in her jacket, you just see her arms bulge a little bit as she sets her feet and yanks 1, 2, and it begins to open up, and you can see out into the little inlet, little concaved, not concave, it's convexed, right? No, concaved is...
A cave is rounded, convexed is...
Right.
It vexes you.
With this
it
little...
kills you as it squishes you.
Oh, that works. This little indention that the village is sitting in. Roll me another perception check.
Okie dokie. Perceive. I don't perceive. A 9.
From a 9, all you can see is... Let me roll for Theo as well. She rolled a natural 1, so she's like... She fell back down and still can't see. So yes, that makes sense. You see several of the soldiers on horseback begin to try and move about towards the southeast, the southeast of your location. You can just lean out and look to your right and see there is a big plume of dust that seems to be building as the other soldiers are starting to congeal there. What do you see, darling? Tell me.
Plume of dust, apparently congealing soldiers. They're gelatinous.
No, they're not gelatinous. Dang it. They are all coming
Gooey.
together. Give me a word for that, Miranda.
Coalescing? I don't know. Mustering is probably...
Mustering. They are mustering together towards the direction of the
now
cloud
I
that's building.
with mustard and watercress. Anyway.
My great scene is ruined. No, it's not. Good heavens.
The scene ruiner.
Where are the rest of the students? We have to get down. Come on. She's already left. She starts storming across.
I'm following, but my thought process is like, okay, big wormy thing down there, scary probably. Why leave up here where worm no go? But you know.
Do you say that out loud?
That's my thought process.
But did you say something like that out loud?
Yeah, to that effect.
Oh my goodness. Okay. While you're saying that, she says, We have to be able to escape and move. The soldiers are meant to hold it off. If we have a chance to get away from it, we have to. If we stay here, it'll eat us. Have you ever seen one of these worms?
No.
They are large, very large, gargantuan beast, and they will swallow us whole. Come on.
Now I'm coming on.
As you both hit the bottom, run outside, Radia comes running up. What's going on?
Worm, murder, run.
Exactly. Radia, get the rest of the students together so that we can get out of here. We need to head opposite of that cloud, as she points to the cloud that's building. As you look up, and as you see the rest of the soldiers seem to be building ranks and forming lines together, pulling out crossbows and aiming them, you see coming up over the embankment this large, purple-skinned worm, larger than you have ever seen. A mouth, a maw so wide it looked like it could consume an entire city, or an army, or you. It is deathly terrifying. Nothing that you have ever gone up against before.
Those poor red shirts.
I want you to roll me a wisdom saving throw to see if you're afraid or not. Because of its presence.
A 6.
A 6?
Of course I'm scared.
So yeah, terrified.
But I'm gonna fucking pretend I'm not.
Right, of course, as Leah would.
I'm Leah.
A hero is never afraid. I am here.
Or like, I'm sure Markiplier would be like, I'm Isaac Clarke.
The other students come running up.
Sorry, I've been watching a lot of Dead Space.
That's all right.
Oh, you gonna get no scared? Yeah, stomp.
All the other students come running up. You all have your things. The soldiers are still trying to amass, and they're breaking into 2 different formations so they can try and corral the worm away. As it's up in the air and roaring down at them, you hear fire as Commander Bracken sends orders a volley of arrows to lance up 100 strong into the beast, where it is along the side of it. You see some ichor begin to drop like rain as the worm thrashes in pain, very annoyed by what has just happened to it as it turns its sights on them. And then next thing you see is the worm vanish below the embankment, and the ground begins to rumble once more. Come on, we have to go this way.
Oh, definitely booking it.
All right, we are now doing a skill check portion of this game.
Oh, God. And all my dice hate me.
Oh,
okay.
Pick one that doesn't hate you.
That's not possible. The limit does not exist.
The rumbling gets worse. Buildings begin to break. Radia has quickly darted inside with a few other students to grab some of those sleeves of gold before they can be lost and tucking them in their bag.
That's what I was hoping
Theo
for.
yells at them that they have to leave them behind, but naturally they don't do so. So a scholar comes over their survival, it seems.
Well, that would make sense.
As you're running and making your way across, a building collapses into your path, scattering dust up and over you, and it is now blocking the way that you must go. What do you do?
Is there another way?
Perception check.
Do I see a flashing thing that says hit E? 18.
An 18. You can see that if you could run around to left and right, but you also see looking back, there is a small fissure in the ground that is beginning to open as some of the buildings are beginning to fall into it. The quickest way is probably up and over.
Okay, up and over.
All right, roll me an athletics check as you tell the others.
Is that acrobatics? Oh, no, athletics. 15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you're able to scramble up easily enough. Radia shouts out your name. You reach back to grab her hand and help pull her up. The other students as well. As you climb up your now bundle of bricks, I guess, or just mound of debris. That's better.
Deborah's.
You climb up your mound of Deborah's and looking down and start help the other students as they're climbing up, 50, about 10 of you or so. Theo is the last one to do so as she climbs up, pushing up the rest of her students that stumble as you go up and over to the other side, running towards the embankment. To where? Who knows?
Okay.
Is there anything you want to do right now while you're running?
I would imagine we're just running.
Okay, more than fine. As you're running,
yes, I'd like to open my inventory and sort everything alphabetically.
the ground begins to open up in front of you. Like a broken mirror, you see cracks ripple out and the soil begin to move and churn. I need you to make a strength saving throw or dexterity saving throw to clear the gap before you fall.
11.
11. As you clear the gap, you stumble, reaching out and grabbing a hold. I need you to make an acrobatic or an athletics check to bring yourself
Nat
up.
20, bitches.
A natural 20, easily. You pull yourself up.
Do I
Leah
look
is
cool
not
while
meant.
doing
Of
it?
course, Leah is not meant to die here. As she throws a hand forward, your hands digging deep into the ground where it's just firm enough, a patch of grass maybe, and another hand and pulling yourself back up.
I always hate it when I mess up these action scenes and then I have to go back and do all the things again. It's like, I didn't see that it said to hit E. I'm sorry.
You turn around and you see the other students are all looking concerned. The gap is actually not that wide. It's just the appearance of it that made you stumble almost into it.
Oh, great. So I had this dramatic moment, but it was really just like...
Yeah, you tripped and fell. However, you caught yourself gracefully. But you do see the other students looking back at you fearful as Theo is going to try and make their way across. And she does. With a powerful leap of her leg, she's able to jump across, leaving behind some of her rope for Radia, and tells the students to start jumping, but they still seem fearful.
I'm going to inspire them.
How so?
Be like, come on, you guys, you got this. Just focus on me.
Okay. Roll me a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay. 17 plus 5.
17 plus 5
Yes.
is
22.
22.
Why do I have to add it? It's big.
Because addition. Because that's part of this game. You have to add. You can't just say.
I feel like you are just trying to trick me into doing math.
I always need you to do math. I do that to my DM too. It's like, say 18 plus 8, and then he does the math for me. They begin to leap across one after one. Radia first, she says, yeah, you're right. Possibly in her mind wanting to be just like you one day, even though you're near the same age. She jumps across. You and Theo both grab her before she falls in. One after the other students make it. The last one, a spiny little fellow, goes and makes the final leap, goes pinwheels with his arms before almost falling backwards. Yes, you and Theo both grab his shoulders and pull him across.
No, I'm
as
doing
you
the thing
keep
where you
going.
grab right at their neck, their collar. So now we know that Radia admires me and looks up to me. She's going to betray me. I know it. It will happen.
All right.
The betrayal.
You continue running.
Oh, yeah.
You're about 2/3 of the way from the center to the outside of where the buildings are.
Damn it, new action sequence.
Yes, there's always going to be an action sequence. In front of you, to your left, you see the worm come up out of the ground, once again, on the other side of the embankment, and then dives back down, creating more tremors as it does so. Soldiers start moving around the outskirts of the building, corralling it, trying to keep it away, trying to keep it at bay. generally worms won't attack, will do their best to just consume and move on instead of wasting energy and being harmed.
Keep it away, keep it at bay. Now is just the worst kind of day. Sorry.
Now, as you continue running, buildings are still collapsing and falling in. Is there anything else you want to try and do before we get to the next phase?
Well, no, I mean, I'm still running, but do the buildings look interesting at least as they are smashed in smithereens?
Give me a persuasion. I'm going
to persuade the buildings to look awesome. So I'm persuading them at 15 that they're cool.
They're cool buildings?
Are they? I've persuaded
They're pretty cool buildings. But they're falling to pieces.
Get a hold of yourself.
You hear a yell.
Okay.
You turn around and see that one of the other students has fallen down and scraped their knee, and it seems to be bleeding a little bit. What do?
I'm going to...
Phil's running ahead. You were kind of in the middle of the pack, and you heard somebody fall behind.
I'm going to grab them and say, come on your feet, and cast Healing Word.
Okay.
But it's vocal, so they just heard me say, on your feet.
Right. As a bard, we already established your magic is about the intent of your words. And you say, on your feet?
Yeah.
Do you say anything else?
No, I mean, it's
fine enough. As you become inspired, hey, I'm stealing from my own books.
Ooh.
As you just become irradiated with the magical power, you connect to it. No, not like that. My Geiger counter.
My 5G.
It's like stepping out into the sun after a cold day.
Oh my. Wait, the sun is out in the cold day, so would...
Miranda.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Pulling them up, they're like, thanks, Leah. Oh, my leg looked pretty banged up. I guess not. Let's go.
It's the adrenaline, man.
All right, so go ahead and mark off your spell slot for that.
Okay.
As you're going, Thiel is corralling everyone to get on the outside of the buildings. There's other soldiers waiting there for them to put them in a wagon that they've already latched together to put them all in and move on. What Thiel doesn't see is you come running up last, and the student you helped running past is another fissure is beginning to open up beneath her.
Oui.
As she is focused on the students and pushing them up. And as you have literally a split second to do something before your teacher falls in.
Grab her, right?
You grab her?
Yeah.
Okay. Make me a athletics check again. Or push her or whatever.
Yeah. 17? Oh, wait, athletics?
Yeah.
No, okay, that is 17. I was going to say, if it's acrobatics, I'd be better, but it's just athletics.
As the fissure begins to open, she's waving up her students, turn backs to look at you, sees a look of concern on your face as you just put both palms into her and shove hard. And she's made out of some pretty tough steel, and you shove her out of the way.
Okay.
But as you do so, you fall. And you see a look of panic cross your face and also your teacher as she mirrors it. And she reaches out to try and grab you. And rolls a natural 2.
Do I have, pythons or whatever they're called in my bag?
You wouldn't be able to pull them out in time.
Oh.
This is a split second.
All right.
As you fall into the darkness and see nothing but your teacher looking down on you, screaming your name. Everything goes black. You hit something hard and forget everything. Leah. You wake with a start. You see nothing. Your vision is filled with darkness. With your instincts at their peak, your other senses take over as you inhale from the rush of anxiety. The air tastes old and has a hint of mildew. Your hands confirm this as they find a stone floor for you to slowly find your footing. The air is cool but not cold, and somewhere in the distance, you hear the sound of dripping water. Your body aches, bruised and banged. You have no idea why you are not dead from that fall. Your clothes are torn, and your lute's neck is broken. Tell me, Leah, what happens next?
Well, I cast mending on my lute. Come on.
What word do you say to mend your lute?
Well, since you said it's like your intent, right? I think it's more of a like, there's a lot that just happens. So she's like, no.
That could work. That's more than fine. That, or, like fix or something like that. 1 second.
Well, I don't want the words to ever be the same. I want, like, the concept to be just, like...
I love that. Yeah, let's do that. That's not a problem at all.
Because, you know, a true bard would be able to, you know, switch things up.
Right, of course. So immediately you reach out with your intended words of no, 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 no. And immediately the lute snaps back into place. The strings curl back to where they're supposed to and snug tight. You give it a light strum and hear its soft, sorrowful mourn to tell you both it's okay and ready to go. How about your clothes? Do you mend those too?
If they're torn up, yeah.
Okay, no problem at all.
So, well, basically what I think she'll do next is, like, so she casts mending on there and she's like, you know, okay, so I've got that firebolt thingy. What if I, like, don't quite let it go and just let it sit just for a second so I can see something?
What word do you say to summon your firebolt?
Ah, shit.
All right, come on, Miranda. You say fire.
No!
Oh, shit. I love it.
Yeah.
You can't hold it. You create it and it immediately has to arc off.
That's fine, but do I see anything?
You do.
While it's doing that.
You seem to be in a small room. That's about all you can get from that glance. Roll me a perception check as you fire off another.
Nah. That was cocked, actually. I was like...
I believe you have like an oil lamp with you if you wanted to light it.
Do I? Okay.
Yeah.
I probably do.
Yeah, you do. I checked your stuff this morning.
Okay, so that's a 7.
God peeked through your pockets to make sure all was prepared.
Yeah, bastard. Well, like, obviously the lobbing those isn't working, so I'll light the lamp.
All right. As you light it, you see that you're in a small room, almost to the point where you could reach out your hand and touch either sides of the walls. Confused, you look up and see that above you is a slanted tunnel. It's very steep, though, covered in moisture, and you can see the scratch marks of where your body slid down and landed where you were. There's also a door. Seems to be made of metal, closed, with bits of light flickering up underneath it.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to the door and push my ear against it. Do I hear anything?
Roll me a perception check.
God, I'm perceiving things. 13.
13?
Yeah.
You hear just the dripping of water. You don't hear any movement or anything. Bit of air, like a little bit of wind, not too much, but you can hear just a little breeze of some sort. Similar to how it's very similar to when you went into the cavern with your brother. It feels like that kind of airflow is going on down here.
Okay, so I have that wand of, like...
Take your time.
What did we decide it did specifically again?
Locate object.
Okay, so I guess it's not that good. I thought I had something else. Jack of all trades. Oh, I didn't know I could do that.
I did not know I could do that.
Huh.
The legendary words of every D&D player. And the DM too, honestly.
Can I cast... Oh, this says detect magic has ritual next to it, so I can cast it as a ritual.
Sure.
So I would like to detect magic beyond the door just to see if...
What is the range of detect magic?
30 feet. Sphere.
30 feet?
It says 10 minutes, 30 feet, sphere.
Yeah, it takes 10 minutes for you to...
Cast it.
Cast it.
Yeah.
Do you pull out your instrument to begin playing so that you can focus your energies on locating objects? On detect magic?
She probably does it without even thinking, like with her eyes closed kind of thing.
Okay. Humming to herself? Put a little bardic melody in there.
I feel it's more just like, I don't know why I fell down a really long tunnel, and this is really weird, and I don't know what's going on.
As you cast it, and you just feel this pulse come away from your body, and your eyes can see it, though maybe no one else ever can when you cast this. There is a tiny blip, just the faintest, right on the edge of your spell. And then it's gone, on the other side of the door, directly in front of you.
Did it feel like it was stationary, or moving, or attached to something?
Stationary.
Okay, and I don't...
How long does the spell last again?
It doesn't say.
So it's a concentration spell for up to 10 minutes. So as long as you hold concentration on it, you can still, when you move, if anything comes into that periphery of the spell, you'll be able to feel it.
Okay. So, but I don't hear anything living or anything, right? Or that I can tell?
No, not from that roll.
Okay.
So ominous, right?
Oh, I don't care. What's the worst that could happen? I'm ready to roll a new character. Does the door have a knob or anything?
It does. It has a handle.
Is it locked?
It's a metal ring that is sticking out. Do you grab it and turn it?
Yeah.
No, it is not locked.
I'm glad I tried it first.
Right.
I'm not defeated by a door. Take that, Critical Role.
It opens up. Do you step out?
Well, I'm going to stick my lamp out first. You know, the kind of thing where you're like, yeah.
You actually, as you open it, light begins to fill the room where you may not even need your lamp as much anymore. As you peer around the corner, you have to go out the door and look right. But as you do so, you see that you're in this little indentation. Safe enough. So you feel like it's safe enough to at least walk out to the edge of the wall and see the next room, which is far larger.
Okay.
It is a room with an arching ceiling that domes at either end. There appears to be a mural of color depicted on it, but with the flickering of pale light, it is difficult to tell. The source of this light is difficult to ascertain from the ground, but it is there despite the eerie flickering disposition. There are two statues. The one closest to you is broken and scarred, but still upright with a sword in hand, standing around 12 feet tall. The other has long since toppled to the gray stone floor. Centered between them both is a sad sight, an empty fountain, desperate for wishes.
You had to hit me in the sad part with the fountain.
I did.
Not my fountain.
It's a reoccurring theme here.
Tragic. Okay. So I can't tell where the light is coming from?
It's very odd. It's coming from the ceiling, and it's flickering, like
torchlight almost?
Almost, but instead of like torchlight where it goes dim and brighter, it's definitely bright than black. And it's definitely making the area, as you look around, to use modern terms, it's definitely like looking like a fluorescent light that's flickering on and off in a dark hallway.
These people have freaking light bulbs.
Maybe you'd have to probably climb up there to see. Oh God,
their technology is so advanced. They discovered fluorescence.
Roll me a perception check.
Okay. Freaking fluorescent light bulbs. 11.
11. Looking up, you see that there are long strips that light is coming from. Not light bulbs, Miranda, but to Leah, they are embedded into the ceiling.
Did I get any magic vibe off of them?
A little bit, but they're higher up than the range, I would think. This is a very large room. If you get close enough to it, you would definitely feel some magical blips off of it, for sure.
Okay, so they're like magic light bulbs. Got it.
Directly across from you, past the fountain and the statue, is a large, beautiful golden archway, covered in black grime. So you see splotches of the gold, but they still shine in the light as it flickers. You see it leads to an arch into another room that's dark from here, and you can't really tell what's going on, and possibly in between them a hallway. If you step out just a little bit into the room, you can look to your left and see a large pair of double doors. Very similar to yours, so not large, so similar to the closet door you just came out of. But there's two of them, and that is where the magical blip came from, which is literally to your left.
Okay, well, before I go in someplace that might potentially have, like, a magical booby trap, you said there was a mural in front of me?
Oh, the ceiling depicts a mural. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, I'm going to head over to the door that you said had the magical blip.
As you move into the room, movement catches your eye, and you hear the sound of moving rocks and metal scraping on stone. You freeze, alone beneath the earth, and you turn slowly and see a hand reach out on the floor from behind the statue, grip into the ground, and pull itself forward. You see this metal humanoid, just something, entity, turn and look at you, red eyes scanning and seeing you, and then another arm come out and grab as it pulls itself around the statue and begins crawling towards you, making a screeching noise. I need you to roll initiative.
Friend or foe? Friend or foe? I haven't. Give me a second. I've got a thing for that.
What'd you roll?
15.
All right, time for them
It's
to roll.
nice to be able to add to my initiative.
Ooh, that is a natural 20.
You bitch.
So, as the creature comes crawling over, it's making noises of metal grinding on one another as its mouth hinges open. You see that its arms are held together by some type of rotating joint. It can't stand up. It has no legs. It's missing them from the torso down. But still, this is absolutely terrifying as it comes crawling over. It's going to make a first attack on you and try and swipe at your leg. Tell me, Leah. There's a 7 hit.
No.
It goes to thrash and grab you with its arm, but Leah, your instinct immediately take over as you were just momentarily frozen with fear. You step back away from it as it goes to make its other swipe to grab you. Does a 16 hit? Mm-hmm. It does? Okay. It grabs a hold of your leg and snatches them out from under you with its other hand as you try and stumble back, but you hit the wall. As you do, it yanks hard and you hit and you slam hard into the ground.
Ow.
You take 3 points of bludgeoning damage as you fall and hit hard. It is now your turn, and this monster, this of machinery, is trying to pull itself on top of you. What do?
I am going to... Okay. I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers.
You're going to cast Dissonant Whispers?
Yes.
Okay. What does it have to do? What does it have to roll?
It must make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. A wisdom saving throw. What kind of damage is this?
Psychic.
Psychic. It absolutely, as you go to, what do you say to it in order to use Dissonant Whispers?
Your legs don't work. Your legs don't work.
You saying that
your robot, your legs don't work.
Your legs don't work?
Yeah.
As you do so, you feel your spell collide with it and dissipate, having no effect. Cool. Fearfully, you understand that your type of bardic magic does not seem to work against a construct such as this.
Sorry, I'm having trouble understanding right now. Please try a little later.
That was really scary.
That was creepy. Wow, Alexa just went on. I hope that picked up on the mic. Okay, focusing back in. What do you want to do? Do you end your turn? You still have a movement if you want to use it.
Well, I want to get away from him, obviously.
Okay. As you get up and try to move away from him, it's going to try and roll a reaction to try and grab you. What's your AC?
12.
All right. Well, that's a 9. So it's unable to... It just slikes out. Its arm almost kind of sparking just a little bit from grinding across the ground. Tries to grab your boot again as you pull yourself up and are able to at least move halfway away from it because you had to stand up to move. You're now about down near the double doors that I told you about earlier. What would you like to do?
I would like to...
Oh, no. That's the end of your turn. This creature sees you, and since it's missing its legs, it's unable to move its full speed like usual, begins to crawl towards you, and is almost upon you again. Now it's your turn. Door to your right. Robotic machine monster in front of you. What would you prefer?
I am going to... 10-foot radius sphere centered on a point that I choose. So I'm going to scramble back as far as I can.
So you use your movement to get further back from the creature. It's unable to grasp you because it wasn't in range yet.
Great. And I am going to cast Shatter.
Shatter.
A sudden, loud ringing noise, painfully intense, erupts from a point of your choice within range. Each creature in a 10-foot radius sphere centered on that point must make a Constitution saving throw. A creature made of inorganic material, such as stone, crystal, or metal, has disadvantage on this saving throw.
Oh, damn. What's your save?
I don't know. What's my save?
Your spell save is...
800.
No.
13.
13?
Yeah.
It rolled a... It's Constitution?
Yes.
10 plus 1, 11. It fails.
Okay, so...
What does shatter look like? Do you say the word shatter? What word do you use?
Well, in this context, because Leah is probably just like fed up. She's like, enough!
I love it. Enough.
And
as
the
you
word
say that,
starts to reverberate and echo and distort.
ooh, I love it.
And it gets to the point where it's uncomfortable. It doesn't hurt Leah or anybody else, but inside there is like feedback on a microphone so painfully loud.
There's just in that area that you said, you just see the vibrations of the air, and you see as this machine starts to look around, and you see as its body begins to shake. Go ahead and roll for damage.
I want to roll one of these again. Well, 17 thunder damage.
17 thunder damage?
Yes.
All right, as you do so, you hear as it builds, and then there's a pah as it echoes throughout the chamber. And just whatever it was, the construct just obliterates into pieces.
Leah does the thing where she like slides down the wall and slumps on the ground.
Right, you slide down to the wall looking at the head. The head is the only part that seemed to be not completely destroyed as it just lays at the side. You can see its eyes going black. Roll me a perception check.
14.
14. Your eyes catch the glint of something glowing among the rubble that you have just created. The second thing, in the distance you hear moving, as if metal on stone, coming from the chambers beyond.
Great. Okay, so I basically so the head fell somewhere near me, right? And the eyes
It's literally right beside you as you cast that spell. You were right out of its effect range.
I'm gonna do the thing where you with your foot.
Yeah, you move it out of the way. Okay, and then you kind of kick it a little bit.
Yeah. Ow, shit! Fuck, that hurt.
Do you break your big toe?
No, I am not Aragorn.
Okay, no breaking of the big toe.
Okay, so you said I saw something glinting.
You do.
Dash.
Okay, it's
glint.
literally right there.
Great, grab.
You reach down, you pull it out, and you find a blue crystal.
Shoving bag.
Okay.
Look at it later.
All right.
Grabbing the doors, seeing if they'll open.
All right, as you go to pull and yank on them, roll me a strength check. As the noise is getting louder from the rooms beyond.
13.
13. That's just enough as you pull once, twice, and open it just enough to where you can squeeze in between the two doors, and there's darkness beyond it, and then you can shut it back behind you.
Yep, do that. Okay, and then...
You hear the noises growing louder and louder. The muffled noises is whatever you hear. More than likely, more of those enter the room. Seconds passed. Then a minute. You hold your breath so that they won't hear it. Your heartbeat is too loud in your ears, and you're afraid any moment that they're going to pick up on it. After about 3 or 4 minutes, you hear some of the metal outside of the door being moved and shuffled about. And then you hear the sound dissipate as they leave the room.
Recede.
Recede.
It's a better word.
It is a better word.
That's why I'm your better half.
Breathing, taking deep gulping air as you slide down on the door.
Good
and
thing
think
I
to
did
yourself,
that swim training.
Here you are, trapped in God knows what beneath the ground. What will
Hold
Leah...
up the lamp.
What will Leah do next?
Thank you for listening. Please leave a review anywhere you found us. You can reach out to us on Twitter at Bountiful Barnes. We hope to see you again on the civilized road.
And bring bread and cheese.
As the story goes, until then.